You've been told that skipping breakfast will wreck your metabolism, that fasting burns your muscles, that you have to eat every few hours or your body will start storing fat. But what if everything you've been told about fasting is completely wrong? Because for decades, health experts, diet gurus, and even doctors have been repeating the same lines. Don't skip meals. Never go hungry. Eat small portions 6 times a day. And yet, we're more overweight, more tired, and more inflamed than ever before. So something doesn't add up. Let's be honest. Fasting sounds scary. Going without food? That goes against everything we've been taught. We were told hunger is the enemy. That if you feel it, your body is shutting down. That it's dangerous. But here's the shocking truth. Hunger isn't your body breaking. It's your body healing. When you stop eating, your body doesn't panic. It wakes up. It starts cleaning itself, burning stored fuel, and repairing the damage caused by constant snacking, sugar, and stress. The irony? The thing we've been avoiding, fasting, might be the very thing our bodies have been begging for. Because science is finally catching up to something humans already knew thousands of years ago. Every culture, every religion, every ancient civilization practiced fasting. Not because they had research papers or fitness apps, but because it worked. It sharpened the mind, restored the body, and renewed the spirit. And now, decades of research confirm what our ancestors always understood. Fasting isn't starvation. It's repair. So how did we get it so wrong? How did something natural, something built into our DNA, get turned into something people fear? It started with marketing. Food companies realized something powerful. The more often you eat, the more money they make. So they told us to snack between meals, to start the day with cereal, to end it with dessert. And slowly, we forgot what it feels like to be hungry, or to let the body rest. Now we eat 6, 7, 8 times a day. We never stop digesting. And because of that, our bodies never stop storing. So if you've been fasting or trying to, but you're confused about what's true and what's myth, you're not alone. The internet is full of contradictions. One expert says fasting heals everything. Another says it destroys your metabolism. One influencer swears by intermittent fasting. Another says it ruins hormones. Who's right? Well, let's just say most people talking about fasting don't understand how it actually works. They focus on trends, not biology. They repeat headlines, not research. That's why this video exists. Because we're about to go through the 10 biggest fasting myths and destroy each one with real, proven science. We'll talk about what happens inside your body when you fast, from the first hour to the 72nd. We'll look at what studies actually say about metabolism, muscle, energy, and hormones. And we'll expose the hidden reasons people fail to see results. Not because fasting doesn't work, but because they've been following myths. By the end of this video, you'll know the truth, not the social media version, but the biological one. You'll understand why fasting isn't just safe. It's one of the most powerful natural resets your body can experience. And you'll never look at hunger the same way again. Because hunger isn't weakness. It's communication. It's your body saying, "Let me heal." So if you've ever wondered whether fasting really works, if you've tried it but hit a wall, or if you're just tired of hearing conflicting advice, stay right here. Because the myths end now. And the truth? It's even more fascinating than the lies. Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning and you decide not to eat. No breakfast, no snacks, no coffee with milk, just water. At first, it feels strange. Your mind says, "You're skipping breakfast. That's bad." Your stomach growls a little, your hands feel cold, and your brain keeps whispering, "You're starving yourself." But by hour 6, something starts to shift. You feel lighter, your focus sharpens, and by hour 12, a strange calm begins to spread through your body. Like your mind and your energy have synced for the first time in months. It's not magic. It's not caffeine. It's your biology finally doing what it's meant to do. Because when you stop feeding your body every few hours, it doesn't collapse, it recalibrates. But here's the strange part. Even though fasting has been practiced by every civilization throughout history, from the monks in Tibet to the philosophers of Greece, today, it's one of the most misunderstood and feared health tools on the planet. How did that happen? Let's rewind. For thousands of years, fasting was a natural rhythm of human life. People didn't eat 3 meals a day. They ate when they could. They walked, hunted, prayed, worked, and slept, sometimes going 24 or even 48 hours between meals. And somehow, they weren't weak. They weren't collapsing. They were thriving. Then came the modern era. Factories started producing food on an industrial scale. Cereal companies told us, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Snack brands told us to never go hungry. And sugar? It became a lifestyle. Soon, the idea of not eating sounded dangerous. Something primitive, something to avoid. And that's how one of the most powerful biological resets in human history got buried under fear, misinformation, and marketing. But the truth never disappears. It just waits to be rediscovered. In the last decade, science has started catching up to what ancient wisdom already knew. Dozens of peer-reviewed studies now confirm that fasting can trigger healing processes deep within the body. Processes that modern medicine didn't even know existed 50 years ago. We're talking about autophagy, where your body cleans out damaged cells and replaces them with new ones. We're talking about insulin sensitivity, hormonal balance, metabolic flexibility, and even neurogenesis, the creation of new brain cells. All of that from simply giving your body time to rest. Yet despite the research, myths still dominate the conversation. People still think fasting ruins metabolism, that it burns muscle, that it's starvation. They hear one horror story or one influencer's crash experience, and they assume fasting doesn't work. But here's what's crazy. Those myths don't come from science. They come from misunderstanding. When researchers actually test fasting under controlled conditions, they find something different. Your metabolism rises, your energy stabilizes, and your brain becomes sharper. So why do so few people know this? Because the truth doesn't sell breakfast bars. But that's exactly why this video exists. To strip away the noise, the internet nonsense, and the diet myths that keep people stuck. In the next few minutes, we're not going to talk about what influencers think. We're going to talk about what the data says. We'll go through 10 of the most common fasting myths one by one, and I'll show you the real science behind them. You'll see how fasting affects your metabolism, your hormones, your energy, and even your emotions. We'll look at the studies that prove how your body changes hour by hour when you fast. And by the end, you'll have a clear, scientific understanding of what fasting really does, and why almost everything you've been told about it is wrong. Because the truth about fasting isn't scary. It's empowering. The question isn't, is fasting safe? The real question is, why did we stop trusting something so natural? So stay with me. Because once you understand the science behind fasting, you'll see your body and hunger itself in a completely different way. And after that, the next time someone says fasting slows your metabolism or you'll lose muscle, you'll know the truth. They're not describing fasting. They're describing fear. Myth 1. Fasting slows down your metabolism. This one's everywhere, especially in fitness circles. People believe that if you stop eating, your metabolism crashes, that your body goes into starvation mode and stops burning calories. Here's the truth. Short-term fasting doesn't slow your metabolism. It actually speeds it up. Studies from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that during a 72-hour fast, metabolism increases by up to 14%. Why? Because your body releases norepinephrine, a natural stimulant that keeps your energy levels high and helps you mobilize fat for fuel. You were designed to stay alert when food is scarce, not sluggish. Think about it. If our ancestors got sleepy every time they missed a meal, they'd never survive. So when you fast, your body doesn't shut down. It wakes up. What actually kills metabolism is the constant snacking, sugar spikes, and insulin overload that stop your fat-burning systems from ever turning on. Myth 2. Fasting makes you lose muscle. This one scares people the most, especially gym goers. Here's the truth. In the first 24 to 72 hours of fasting, your body protects your muscle, not burns it. Why? Because your body is smarter than you think. It switches to burning fat and producing ketones, a clean fuel that your brain and muscles love. Ketones actually preserve lean tissue by reducing the need to break down protein. A 2016 study in obesity reviews found that during short-term fasting, muscle loss is minimal, under 0.1%, while fat oxidation skyrockets. The real muscle killer isn't fasting. It's yo-yo dieting, under-eating protein, and not strength training. Fasting, when combined with good nutrition and movement, actually increases growth hormone, which helps your body repair and preserve muscle mass. So no, you won't shrink. You'll rebuild better. So myth 1, completely destroyed. Myth 3, you'll feel weak and tired. At first, maybe, but that's just withdrawal, not weakness. Most people run on carb dependence, constant glucose spikes. When you fast, your body learns to burn fat for energy instead. Once that switch happens, called metabolic flexibility, you stop crashing, you stop craving, and your energy becomes steady all day. In fact, many people report mental clarity, improved focus, and stable mood after 18 to 24 hours of fasting. Why? Ketones are brain fuel. They cross the blood-brain barrier and provide longer-lasting energy than sugar ever could. So if you feel tired during fasting, that's not your body breaking down. That's your body detoxing from constant feeding. And when the transition is over, you'll feel like someone flipped a switch inside your brain. Myth 4. You can drink anything during a fast. Nope. This is where most people mess up. You can't just drink anything and expect to stay in a fasted state. Coffee. Yes, if it's black. Water? Absolutely. Electrolytes? Perfect, especially for longer fasts. But cream, sugar, juice, or even healthy smoothies? Those will break your fast instantly. The goal of fasting isn't just to skip food. It's to keep insulin low. The moment you add sugar or calories, insulin spikes, and your body switches right back into storage mode. So if you're fasting and not seeing results, check what's in your cup. Even small amounts of milk or sweeteners can undo hours of effort. Myth 5. Intermittent fasting is starvation. There's a huge difference between fasting and starving. Starvation is involuntary. Your body is deprived of nutrients with no control. Fasting is voluntary, a strategic pause that activates your body's repair systems. When you fast, your body isn't panicking, it's cleaning. It breaks down old, damaged cells through a process called autophagy. Think of it as your body's recycling system. This process is linked to reduced inflammation, better immunity, and even longevity. Starvation destroys. Fasting rebuilds. That's the difference between suffering and healing. Myth 6. You have to fast for days to see results. Wrong again. Even short fasts, 14 to 16 hours, can trigger measurable benefits. Research shows that insulin sensitivity improves, blood sugar stabilizes, and fat oxidation increases within just a day. A single 24-hour fast can reduce inflammation and increase growth hormone up to 2,000%. You don't need to suffer to see results. You just need consistency. Regular intermittent fasting teaches your body when to eat and when to rest, which is something our biology has always needed. The goal isn't longer fasts, it's smarter ones. Myth 7. You can eat anything after a fast. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make. They fast all day, then break it with junk. Pizza, sweets, processed food, thinking they earned it. But after fasting, your cells are extremely sensitive. That first meal decides whether you continue burning fat or crash your progress. The best foods to break a fast: lean protein, vegetables, healthy fats, and lots of hydration. Avoid sugar and refined carbs. They'll spike insulin and make you hungrier than before. Think of your first meal like hitting enter on your body's command line. Type the wrong command, and you reset everything. Myth 8. Fasting isn't safe for women. This myth has truth mixed with fear. Here's what research actually shows. Women can absolutely fast, but the approach needs to fit their hormonal rhythm. Shorter fasting windows, like 14 to 16 hours, work best for most women, while longer fasts may need to be adjusted around the menstrual cycle. Fasting improves insulin sensitivity, hormonal balance, and causes symptoms for many women when done correctly. It's not about avoiding fasting. It's about doing it intelligently. Fasting is flexible. Your biology just needs respect, not restriction. Myth 9. Fasting burns muscle before fat. Your body isn't that careless. It's wired for survival. And survival means conserving muscle. When glucose runs low, your body first burns glycogen, stored carbs. Then it shifts to fat, turning it into ketones for energy. Only in extreme, prolonged fasting without nutrients does the body start using muscle tissue. And even then, it's minimal. The human body was built to endure scarcity. It's why we can go weeks without food and still stay alert. So if you're doing intermittent fasting, don't worry. You're burning fat, not muscle. Myth 10. Fasting is just a trend. This one's ironic, because fasting is older than civilization. Every religion, every ancient culture practiced fasting. It wasn't about weight loss. It was about clarity, discipline, and renewal. Now science is catching up, showing how fasting triggers autophagy, longevity genes, and anti-aging pathways. It's not a trend. It's how your body evolved to heal itself. We just forgot. Let's pause for a moment and look at everything we've just uncovered. 10 myths. 10 long-standing truths that turned out to be completely upside down. And now that you know the science behind fasting, the real science, you start to realize something deeper. This was never just about skipping meals. It was about understanding your body in a way that modern life has made almost impossible. Because somewhere along the way, we forgot that the human body isn't fragile. It's adaptable. It's intelligent. It's designed for rhythm, not constant noise. Every hour you fast, your body is quietly performing miracles, burning fat, repairing cells, balancing hormones, cleaning up internal damage. It's like a reset switch, not for your diet, but for your entire biology. And the more you learn about it, the clearer it becomes. Fasting is not deprivation. It's restoration. Think about it. We live in a world where food is everywhere, on billboards, screens, phones, convenience stores. We're constantly surrounded by the message that we need to be eating. But here's the irony. We're eating more than ever and feeling worse than ever. We've never had so much access to food, yet we're more tired, anxious, and inflamed than at any point in human history. Fasting is the quiet rebellion against that chaos. It's saying to your body, I trust you. I'll step back and let you do what you were designed to do. Because here's what modern nutrition rarely talks about. Digestion is one of the most energy-demanding processes in the body. Every time you eat, your body redirects massive amounts of energy toward breaking down, absorbing, and storing nutrients. Now imagine doing that 6 or 7 times a day. No wonder people feel exhausted. We're constantly digesting, but never resting. Fasting gives your system space to breathe. And in that silence, your body begins to do what it's best at, healing. The moment you stop eating, insulin drops. Your body's signal that it's safe to burn stored fat. After several hours, your growth hormone spikes, protecting your muscle and fueling repair. Then autophagy kicks in. Your cells start recycling waste, cleaning out damaged parts, and creating room for new, healthy growth. It's like your body does spring cleaning on a cellular level. Meanwhile, your brain starts running on ketones, a cleaner, more efficient energy source than sugar. That's why so many people describe a deep calm, a mental clarity, a focus they haven't felt in years. It's not imagination, it's chemistry. And here's where it all comes together. Fasting isn't just about fat loss, or performance, or aesthetics. It's about communication. Every time you fast, your body and mind reconnect. You start to feel again. Real hunger, real satisfaction, real energy. You learn the difference between needing food and craving comfort. In a strange way, fasting doesn't just change your biology. It changes your relationship with yourself. Because when you face hunger, you face control. You face discipline. You face silence. The kind of silence that makes you notice how much noise your body has been making all along. That's the real transformation fasting brings. It's not the weight on the scale. It's the weight lifted off your mind. Now, let's tie this back to the myths we started with. They told you fasting slows your metabolism. We saw that it actually boosts it. They said it burns your muscle. Science proved it preserves and strengthens it. They said you'd feel weak, but fasting brings mental clarity and steady energy. They said it's starvation, but it's actually rejuvenation. Myth after myth, we realized something powerful. The rules we've been living by aren't just wrong. They're keeping us from our natural design. Your body isn't broken. It's just overloaded. Fasting doesn't punish it. It frees it. And that's the key moment. The realization that fasting isn't a new discovery. It's a reunion with what's always been inside you. Every major religion on earth, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, has fasting woven into its spiritual fabric. Why? Because when the body is quiet, the mind can listen. When you stop consuming, you start perceiving. That's what science is finally catching up to. The benefits of fasting go beyond blood sugar or fat loss. They reach into emotion, focus, even purpose. When you stop living in constant consumption, food, noise, distractions, you start seeing what's left. And often, what's left is something much more peaceful than you expected. So maybe fasting isn't about deprivation at all. Maybe it's about remembering. Remembering how powerful you are when you don't need constant stimulation. Remembering that your body isn't an enemy. It's an ally waiting for permission to work again. Remembering that silence, even hunger, can be sacred. And when you see fasting that way, not as a punishment, but as a partnership, everything changes. You stop fearing hunger. You stop obsessing over the next meal. You start trusting that your body already knows how to heal. And that's what science forgot. Not the data, not the biology, but the humanness of it all. Because fasting isn't just chemistry. It's connection. It's wisdom. It's what happens when ancient instinct meets modern understanding. Now, before we end, here's a question I want you to think about, and I genuinely want to hear your answer in the comments below. Backhand index pointing right, when was the last time you felt truly in control of your body, not controlled by it? Was it during a fast? Was it after one? Or have you never experienced that sense of peace yet? Because for many people, fasting isn't the end of a diet. It's the beginning of self-awareness. And maybe that's why, across centuries, monks fasted before meditation, Prophets fasted before revelation, and healers fasted before transformation. They weren't starving themselves, they were listening. So maybe, after all the myths and the misinformation, that's the message we were supposed to rediscover. That silence, even the silence of an empty stomach, can be healing. Here's what I hope you take from this. Fasting isn't about perfection. It's about balance. It's not about avoiding food. It's about appreciating it again. It's not about control. It's about understanding. Your body doesn't need constant input to thrive. It needs rhythm. It needs rest. It needs time. So the next time someone tells you fasting is dangerous or unnatural, remember this. There's nothing more natural than giving your body space to heal itself. That's not science fiction. That's human design. Final thought. Maybe the real miracle isn't that fasting burns fat or boosts hormones. Maybe it's that, for a few hours, you finally stop running from yourself and let your body do what it was always meant to do. Reset, repair, and remember. Watch the next video to see what happens inside your body, hour by hour, during a 72-hour fast.